Topping our news, one person is dead and another remains in critical condition this afternoon following a wreck near Amarillo. DPS troopers tell us it happened just west of I-40 and Arnott Road shortly before noon today. The driver of the SUV is said to have been driving westbound when he lost control and rolled 7 times. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. The female passenger was transported by ambulance in critical condition. Tyson Foods is making sure animals are being treated properly at their suppliers' farms. News Channel 10's Jessica Abushaibe joins us now live in the studio to tell us about this verification and why it's going on. We have a cooler day ahead of us tomorrow, but still plenty of sunshine. Joining us live from the Storm Track Center is meteorologist Chris Nation for a first look at our forecast. Hi, Chris. The accused Tucumcari killer has pleaded not guilty in connection with the death of Kimberly Drummond. Drummond had been missing since mid-September, and not even 2 weeks ago, 45-year-old Frank Keller led officials to her remains and admitted involvement in her death. The Clovis News-Journal reports he was charged with an open count of murder, tampering with evidence, and unlawful taking of a vehicle. Now he has pleaded not guilty, but is still being held without bond in the Quay County Detention Center. A bond hearing has been set for later this week for the Borger couple indicted on mail fraud. Both Stormy Dial and Charles Abernathy are scheduled to appear in court Thursday morning. A $10,000 bond has been set for each of them. The couple was indicted on 15 counts of mail fraud and is said to have had unpaid magazine accounts and more than 65 fraudulent gift orders. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is visiting Amarillo this evening, and there are still a few tickets left to go see him speak. The event will be at 8 inside the Amarillo Civic Center auditorium. You can still buy tickets online or at the Civic Center box office downtown. They are $25 for adults and only $5 for students with a valid student ID. Prevention services for HIV and AIDS are making progress in our area, but now budget cuts could cause a setback. News Channel 10's Ashley Paredes joins us now live in the studio with more on how this is raising concerns. Coming up, how one high school is hoping to prevent bullying with just the touch of a button on a smartphone app. Details after the break. Come tomorrow to feel a little bit more like fall out there.
It will,
Bullying in schools and online have been in the national spotlight recently, but bullying in the workplace is a growing trend in American companies. News Channel 10's Jeff Stebbins joins us live in the News Center to explain why victims of bullying often have no recourse. Along with bullying, violence and suicide are also affecting schools across the country. Adam May reports on a new smartphone app created by a Maryland police department that might be able to turn things around with the touch of a button. The United Kingdom has decided to block the extradition of a British computer hacker for trial in the United States. The U.S. claims Gary McKinnon carried out the biggest military computer hack of all time. He has admitted to breaking into computers at NASA and the Pentagon, claiming he did it to find out if the U.S. government was covering up the existence of UFOs. The extradition was blocked because of McKinnon's Asperger's syndrome and depression. The prosecutors will now consider whether he should face trial. Wreckage of the U.S. Special Forces helicopter used in the raid that killed Osama bin Laden will be returned to Pakistan. After 24 hours of meetings with Pakistan's military and civilian leadership, U.S. Senator John Kerry announced the offer in Islamabad. The move comes amid deep mutual mistrust since bin Laden's killing in May of last year. The U.S. feared cutting-edge military technology in the tail of the helicopter could be reverse engineered in China. The tail was abandoned after U.S. forces blew up the rest of the craft. Pfizer is recalling several drugs. Find out why after the break. And many 9/11 first responders could lose millions of dollars in benefits next year. Details are still to come on News Channel 10's Live at 5. Several types of birth control tablets made by Pfizer are now being voluntarily recalled. The recall announced today involves 14 lots of low overall tablets and 14 lots of norgestrel tablets. Patients who have the affected product should notify their physician and return the product to the pharmacy. A federal appeals court in Washington is considering whether marijuana should be reclassified from its current status as a dangerous drug with no accepted medical use. Last year, the Drug Enforcement Administration rejected a petition by medical marijuana advocates to change the classification, keeping it in the same category as drugs such as heroin. Advocates want the U.S. Court of Appeals to conduct findings based on the scientific record. A government lawyer urged the court to deny the request. Activists and New York lawmakers rallied at Ground Zero to ask Congress to protect funds for first responders and construction workers affected during the September 11th attacks. The James Zadraga 9/11 Health and Compensation Act authorized more than $4 billion in federal assistance, but parts of the act faces an automatic reduction in January under sweeping budget cuts. A preliminary report shows 9/11 responders could lose $38 million in benefits next year unless Congress grants an exemption. Thousands of shipments of children's Halloween costumes are seized by the federal government for containing 11 times the legal limit of lead. Jeff Burnside reports. Well, we're in for a cooler day tomorrow. Chris Nation has a final look at our forecast coming up next.